Now let's go to the second aspect of the whole brain map. I pursue. What are the mini steps that we would go through? And so what we would do as a consultant group is that we would draft a purpose for working with them. And then when we meet with them for the first time after the short introductions, my local person that I'm training says, well, you know, this is what we do. That would be our purpose if we worked with you. And we just share it. You know, in this, it might be we utilize the whole brain research and theory in the context of transforming the entire organization, where we engage all facets of the system and make leadership stronger and increase business results beyond your expectations. And then we just listen to their response. And then the next question just simply is, what are the challenges that you're dealing with? And we listen sometimes for 15, 20 minutes, and oftentimes we can't get them to shut up, okay, because they've got so much to say. In this case that I'm thinking about right now, just the other day, you know, the purpose was for them to, they were looking for help in succession planning. And the owner of this multi-billion-dollar company wants to retire and wants his family to take over. He sees the future, and he still wants to stay connected, but he doesn't want to do the day-to-day stuff. You know, when you have $1 billion, you like to go and explore the edges of the earth and new arenas. But what we want him to do is to have his organization be 10 times more effective than he was at leading him, because they're more powerful together than he will ever be alone. And so we believe that whole system transformation, looking at the lens of whole brain literacy, will do that. And so after we've heard the challenges, gosh, and we've heard them all, and in my situation, when you worked with 1,000 organizations in 44 countries, there's not one I haven't heard, really. I have a case where I've gotten results with that challenge in that industry. And so we give examples to give instant credibility, because that's what WISE says, and that's what one of my key competencies in my marketing section for competencies, credibility, and they got to like you. You got to form an instant relationship immediately. And of course, OD people should be really good at that, because that's what we are about, is relationships. So then we say, would you like to co-create with us a change blueprint? Won't cost you anything. We can do it right now, or, you know, we can do it next week at your convenience. And we get a yes or no answer. And if it's a no answer, then we shake hands and say goodbye and stay in touch, or never see them again. But if sometimes they want to go on because they like the excitement that we give them, and we put on some magic. Of course, we deliver magic. We have a few cases of astounding, you know, I mean, I just had a case, the stock price on Bloomberg, you can check it, went from 8,000 to 12,000 while I was there, and now it's at 17. And it's stabilized there in the last 52 weeks, gone up and down a little. And so, so in that process, if they want to go forth, we get a whole bunch of little yeses, you know. And we, first of all, we get very clear the outcomes they want to see. You know, the best I ever had was the Ministry of Health in Africa. He rattled out, you know, 7 outcomes that were just the most beautiful you can ever imagine. And he had been, of course, studied at the Ivy League schools in the U.S., and so he knew what he was talking about. And then we go through step by step. We say, okay, ma'am, we're going to meet with you first, and we're going to hear about your team, we're going to hear about your wishes, and we're going to establish a confidential, trusting relationship with you, and that'll be our first step. Would you like to do that? Yes. Oh, then we're going to meet with your big team. But we only work with 12 or less, So we especially have an issue around that in Asia. They always want to meet with big groups, but effective research says that 8 is the best. And so we go through all of the little steps. And in this case, there's 100 different ways that we can go. For example, after meeting with the team, then we could bring in the top 300. And 50 of them are already trained in whole brain literacy. So then we could train the other 250 with the instrument and what we have. And then we can do their assessment of the organization using WBL. And we use that data to guide us as we go forth. And so that's that phase. And we'll talk about the next.